This is Mario with MIA Microflight, and these are my Anycubic I3 Megas. These machines are 5 to 7 years old. Still printing. I have printed a lot of parts over the years. And this is how these machines print consistently every time. Once you set them up properly, they print every time consistently and very reliably. So I'm printing some parts here, so you can see all the layers are just perfect. Some additional parts. These are 4 of my Anycubic I3 Megas. This is a Monoprice Mini 10. I'm having some issues with this particular machine that I cannot maybe this time it might work. Let me see. Here we go. Yeah, for some reason this can only hold so many files, even though you may have an SD card that can hold a lot more files. This can only hold so many, so beyond that it just doesn't see those files. Now I'm seeing those files here. I'm about to print this tree base here, so let's select that file. You guys should print fine, and this machine also prints fairly reliable. It's a nice little machine, although the architecture is open architecture, something that I don't like. But it's no bells and whistles. You know, it's got a touch sensitive display here that's mounted on a rigid. This is metal. It's mounted on a rigid bracket at the front of the machine, which kind of simulates the layout here, except that these machines are fully enclosed, and that's what I like about the Anycubic I3 Megas, is that they're fully enclosed. All the electronics are inside this base here, which acts as also the support for this U-frame here, which makes the machine extremely solid, very solid, and all the prints are, like I was saying earlier, very consistent and reliable, and that's the reason why I got when I purchased the first one. This is my first one, and you can see by the logo here, it's an early machine, and then I purchased some newer ones. These are different logos here. You can see this is a little bit different. This has this I don't know, this detail of this looks like some kind of a robotic cyborg figure. And this one has the full body of that. This one just has the torso with the head. This was the first one, and then these are the other machines, and that's why I have these labeled 1, 2, 3, 4. I have a fifth machine that I haven't used, and I was planning on using that, modifying that machine so that I can print taller, at least taller objects. But I may also modify that machine to also give me a little more larger footprint than these machines here. These are 220 by 220 by 230, I believe, and I am finding the need for a bigger machine. That's the reason why I did a sort of an 8-part video on the Artillery Sidewinder X3 Pro, which unfortunately did not prove itself worthy. You know, these machines are much better, these older machines. This is a failed print from that Artillery X3 Pro machine, and you can see those videos on my YouTube channel if you want to find out more and what I went through with that particular machine. So this is a failed print, and I decided at last minute just to box the machine and return it. So I've returned the machine. I am waiting for 2 additional machines from another company. And once I get those machines, I will also do a not necessarily a review, because I'm not in the business of doing reviews, but I will do some videos from a working perspective, from somebody that does parts day in, day out. For many years I've been doing a lot of parts, all kinds of parts. These are my own designs. This is for a train set, you know, for those wooden train tracks. Well, I designed my own train track for that, and that's what you're seeing here being printed, along with the that's a bridge. These are some trees or bushes that I'm printing. These are some trees kind of like profile trees that I printed, and I'm going to do a full a little more three-dimensional trees once these parts are done. These are the bases for those trees, and I'm about to print more bases here on this machine. I'm going to have to speed this up a little bit here, and just to give you an idea, you know, how these machines perform versus that at artillery that I was having so many issues with. Let's see, I'm going to speed up the, let's see if I can speed up, yeah, the speed. And I mean, look at the simple display, very simple display, you know, no bells and whistles like some of these new controllers that you have to download firmware, and you got to load a software that, you know, to load the firmware. It's too much complexity. It's like, you know, just sell the controllers like this. You know, if you want to sell the controller, sell the controller ready with the firmware embedded that you can just connect to the, you know, the mechanics of the machine, and that's it. You don't have to download firmware, you don't have to modify the firmware, you don't have to do all kinds of things. You know, it's too complex. You know, from a time point of reference. You know, I mean, I can do those things. That's not an issue. You know, and there are a lot of people that can also do those things. But, you know, rather than spending the time programming things and changing things and modifying, you know, the software and the files, you know, I'd rather be printing. You know, designing and printing. That's my point of view. So I'm going to speed this. I'm going to go to 2.0, 2 times as fast, because all my other Anycubics are running at 2 times the speed. These are printed at 50 millimeters per second, sliced with 50 millimeters per second on the Cura slicers or slicer, and I'm running these machines at twice the speed of that, so it's actually running at 100 millimeters per second, which is pretty decent for these parts that I am. I'm going to see if I can change my. I already calibrated the manually calibrated the flatbed here, so I'm going to change the Z height. Let's see, tune it, and this is also pretty simple. You know, you tune it and you just change it here. So I need to let's see, go far. 82, 81, 80. Let's see, is it picking up on the material? Or is it too? Yeah, I need to go further here. So let's go 75. Let's go 75 here. Let's see. Maybe a little further here, 70. I can't tell. Let's see. Closer to the bed. Further from the bed. Yeah. I need to go far away from the bed. So far. So I was on the right path. Okay. So 65. Yeah. That's really depositing the material a little bit better here. So it's not too close to the surface. And this surface, by the way, is phenolic, which is a paper-based sheet with epoxy mixture, and it's just flattened. You know, in manufacturing, they flatten these sheets with a layer of the paper and epoxies or resins, very similar to the way they make fiberglass sheets and carbon fiber sheets. You take the carbon sheet or the fiberglass sheet, and then you mix it with the epoxy resin, then you run it through a press, and I believe they use heat to do those things in manufacturing. So this is just a very thin layer of phenolic that I sanded the surface just to give it a little more grip. And it's working just fine. So I'm going to go another 0.05 here. So let's go to 60. 60 away from the surface, at least according to this bed leveling correction here. Oh yeah, that's really depositing nicely the material. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna close this. Let's see what the temperature is here. Nozzle 210, bed is 60. And I think I'm going to leave it there. Alright, so yeah, these parts right here, it was too close to the surface of the bed here. That's why you see this. And now it's depositing the material just fine. Okay, so we'll leave that. And you know, as I said in my videos of the artillery Sidewinder X3 Pro, you know, this machine is even better than that. It's very, you know, it's a very simple, very basic machine. You know, this plate is, I believe, it's a little bit smaller than my Anycubics, or I think it's about the same size as the Anycubic I3 Megas, but they call this a Mini, and it's Monoprice. And you know, just basic machine, very simple architecture here, very simple extruder. It's got two fans, one for the hot end and one for the part cooling. You know, the filament comes in through the back. It's got that arm out of the way. You hardly see the filament, you know, from the front. Very simple architecture, and it works better than the artillery, you know, with the side-mounted controller that I did videos on much earlier. So anyway, going back to my Anycubic I3 Megas, consistent, every print the same. Nice glass tables. So I wanted to capture this video. This part is done. I'm about to print another one here. The little tracks for those little trains, you know, for little kids. I'm doing this for my, you know, just to complete a scenic layout that my granddaughter and my grandson can play with. So anyway, this is Mario. Just wanted to showcase, you know, the output of these machines, the Anycubic I3 Megas, and for anybody that thinks these machines are ancient and out of date and not as good, you know, here you go. You know, this should be a good example. I don't see too many people posting Anycubic output, you know, the real-time videos of the machine running in real time, making all kinds of parts. So let this be one of them. If you're looking for Anycubic I3 Megas, you know, if you can get one of these machines these days, you know, they don't make these anymore, unfortunately. I really wish, you know, this company Anycubic could come back to this architecture, but I don't think they will, because they've shifted from this to this architecture here, which is like going backwards. You know, from that machine you're going to this. It's like, you know, you've taken something with a full body design, and you've gone to a skeleton. You're basically removed the, you know, the skin of you know, it's just, it's crazy the way some companies do this, and the way the world is operating these days. You know, instead of keeping the solid good stuff, you know, we're making quick and dirty things that are cheaper, are, you know, you know, they're not as good, basically, as the older stuff. And as I was saying in my other video, there's no way I would get rid of these machines. No freaking way. I love the Anycubic I3 Mega, and I have done a lot of parts. Anyway, this is Mario with MI Flight. Stay tuned for more.